Hey guys, Alex here from Homeschool of Bel Air. Don't mind that little one back there. So if you guys saw my last video, you guys would see that this is going to be the part 2 to our little life update when it comes to homeschooling. And this part, I'm going to tackle more on how the boys are doing. Stay tuned. Okay, so one of the first things I wanted to talk about when it comes to the boys is how I changed our entire system when it comes to homeschooling. A lot of the curriculum that I had picked out for them at the beginning of the school year, we are not going to end up using this year. I am taking a completely different approach when it comes to homeschooling. I decided to take more of a schoolhouse approach this year, so I put both boys together on one side, and even though it does leave Evelyn off to her own little corner, I'm okay with that, because with Evelyn we're only doing a preschool. We're not even doing a pre-K. We're just doing a regular little preschool, just getting her familiarizing her with, you know, the alphabet and number counting. So it's no big deal if I have her a little separate. Now next year it might be another story. I might have to do a different approach. We'll see, but it has been working out amazingly. So with the schoolhouse approach, what I have done, and it's going to go both ways, I do have my 8-year-old, which is technically a second grader. I do have him doing a lot of kindergarten work, but vice versa. I also have my 5-year-old, which is technically a kindergartner, doing a lot of second grade work. So it kind of goes both ways. And the reason I decided to do it this way is because my 8-year-old still has a lot of issues when it comes to reading. So it's either go on with the second grade material and have him just be lost, or basically just take them a few steps down and have them start phonetically from the beginning, and have them just join in with my 5-year-old. And hopefully, I'm hoping that he'll grasp a little bit more of the concepts of sounding out, you know, phonetically. And you know, he still has a lot of issues with his vision, so even with that, I feel like it's really helping him out to have both of them doing the same work. Not only that, he's enjoying it more, not only because it's real simple for him, because a lot of the stuff he's learned, but because it's almost like it's starting to click. Like he'll, you know, when, you know, in the beginning, the first week of school, for instance, we were learning obviously the letter A when it comes to his Horizons phonics, and just going over the 3 sounds that the letter A makes, the ah, the and the A. I saw it just click in his head, and you know, just going over all this stuff for him, I feel like I'm considering it more as a revisit to a lot of the kindergarten curriculum, which is totally fine. I also want to go over, I want to show you guys the curriculum that we are sticking with for the school year, and the grade levels, the difference in grade levels, and how I'm kind of adjusting certain things that are maybe more of a second grade level, how I'm adjusting them for my 5-year-old. Obviously with him, he's not writing complete sentences, so I do have to do it a little bit different with him. But for the most part, everything else is the same. There's only, I want to say, 3 subjects I want to say that my 8-year-old is doing on his own, and my 5-year-old is doing on his own at their grade level. But for the most part, all other subjects are exactly the same. And we're enjoying it. It's so much easier for me. It's easier for them. It's funner for them. It's funner for me, because it's just one big lesson as opposed to one lesson here. Let me gather all this stuff. Let me do this other lesson here. So it's just so much easier. It's just something that I wish I would have done last year. But that's, you know, you live, you learn, and I have learned, and I feel like it's just so much easier. And going forward, I feel like I'm going to try to keep it this way. I think as soon as I get Evelyn caught up, she's still going to be doing her own little stuff, but I think when it comes to some of the major subjects, I think we can maybe squeeze her in, maybe even next year. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how you know, how that goes. We're not there yet, but so let me go ahead and go right into the boy stuff and show you guys what we're doing and how it's working out for us. Okay, so I wanted to go over the curriculum that we're actually using this year when it comes to more of that schoolhouse approach that I was telling you guys about, that we've kind of adopted. So this is pretty much all of my boys' work, and this is for both of them. And it's not included in here, but I have their social studies, their geography, their science, and their Spanish, and those 4 subjects we're doing together as well. So those are part of the subjects that we're doing completely together, and most of that curriculum is kindergarten to 2nd grade, just depending. So let me go ahead and start with the stuff that we do together, that even the grades are the same. And so one of the first things that we do together is our READ curriculum, and I'm going to try to move it over this way so you guys can see. So the READ curriculum is by the Crafty Classroom, and this is one of the subjects that we're definitely doing together. We're working through all of the pages at the same time. I do the lesson with them together at the same time. Pretty much everything's together. So READ is one of the subjects that I ended up having my 8-year-old step down just a little bit. The only thing is, I wouldn't say step down with this one. This is a kindergarten to 2nd grade curriculum. The pages, the completed pages look totally different, and it's okay because my kindergartner isn't writing complete sentences. So in some of the areas where he has to write maybe a sentence, I'll write it on the board for him and I'll just have him recopy it. Or I'll write the sentence in with the highlighter and just have him go over it with the pencil. Where my 8-year-old doesn't really have trouble with that. He'll just kind of sound it out and write whatever sentence that is that he has to write. So this is, well, like I said, one of the subjects that we do together. The other thing that we do completely together is our sight word practice. So when it comes to sight words, I've created them a little system, and it seems like a lot, but it really isn't. So the first thing that we work out of is a little book that I created for them, and it's just called my sight word notebook. And these are pages that I rip out of, let me show you guys real quick, let me grab it. So basically what the sight word notebook is, and I have it, the way that I created it for them is I created it in 4 different colors. So you have the green, the blue, the purple, and the orange. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because I purchased them this book, and they each have one. And the thing with this book is that this book has pretty much all the Deutsch sight words from the pre-primer all the way to 3rd grade level. So the level A, or what I call the green level, are half pre-primer and half primer. If you guys are familiar with the Deutsch sight words. So what I did was I tore out the green level, which is the green level is the one that we're on right now, and I just comb bound it for them, so all their pages are in here for the green level. And once we complete the green level, we're going to go ahead and put a sticker on the green little circle, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull out, if that makes sense, the level B, which is the blue level. And the blue level is the combination of the primer and the 1st grade level of sight words. So we're working through our sight words together. Most of the sight words are brand new for Adrian. They are more of a revisit for Vincent, but I'm okay with that because he does, when I was trying to assess him when it came to the sight words, he knows all the way up to some of the 1st grade level ones when it comes to Deutsch sight words. But when I was assessing him, he still didn't know a lot of the pre-primer and some of the primer ones. So I just decided we're going to go ahead and revisit all of them, start from scratch. I'm going to have them both do pretty much starting from pre-primer all the way to 3rd grade. And depending on how we go, how fast we go, we can get through this book in a year. Maybe it'll take us 2 years. It doesn't matter at this point. So the way that I did it was the green level. So these are all the sight words that are included in this little activity book. So the way that I do it, because it only does this book for each sight word, it only has 2 pages. There's 5 days a week in a week, obviously. So I have them do this on Monday, Tuesday, and then they work out of their, and I have them out of order. Then they have their sight word practice book, and I made the cover green so they know it's part of the green level. And these are the pages from Confessions of the Homeschooler. And what I did was I set them up to follow the order in which this book introduces them. So then, for instance, the first week was sight word A. So then I did sight word A here. So they kind of just work through this one along with this book. And then what I also did was I had purchased them a interactive notebook for the sight words. And instead of doing an interactive notebook, what I decided to do was I put them all in a little comb-bound book. And this is just called their activity book because it's more of an activity. So for each sight word, again, I put them in the order that they go through in the complete book of sight words from Flash Kids. I set all these pages up in that order, in that sequence. So the first one was A, so they get to work on this on Thursday or Wednesday, sorry. So let me say that again. So then it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then they work from here on Thursday. And then on Friday, I have them just work out of their spectrum sight word. And this one doesn't follow the same order. It follows a different order, but that's perfectly okay. It just gives them another little sight word to focus on for that week. So this is how we're doing sight words. And again, this is one of the other things that we're doing completely together. So that's what we do for sight words. The other thing that we do together is our phonics. And I decided to go ahead and do Horizons Phonics kindergarten level. And Vincent is doing the exact same thing as Adrian. Again, I feel like it's more of a revisit for him when it comes to kindergarten phonics. The other thing that we're doing is they usually finish together. They finish around the same time. Adrian takes a little bit longer. But when Vincent's done, because these activities are pretty easy for him, I did create him because he does know a lot of the stuff that's in here. I did create him because he still has trouble with the long vowel sound. So I created him this little notebook, and it's just called the Sneaky E Activity Notebook. And it's just a bunch of silent E printables, and I don't know if it's going to be able to focus, a bunch of silent E printables, and it starts from A, and it goes to letter E, or I'm sorry, I, and then O, and then U, and then at the end is double E. So it's just to have him just kind of catch up on his long vowel sound. Because like I said, this one starts off with the short vowel, which is fine. He totally knows this and it's real simple for him, but I like that because it doesn't stress him out. He doesn't get overwhelmed with the work. It's quite simple for him, but like I said, he gets this book. This is Vincent, so he gets this book to work out of as well. And like I said, these are all just free printables that I found through the Measured Mom and this Reading Mama. And I'm not sure what other printables I found, but I think it's just mainly this Reading Mama and the Measured Mom, and it's just activity sheets that they have for the silent E. And I made him a little wand, so whenever he wants, he can tap the letter. He smacks the letter or the words when he knows it's going to have a silent E in it. So again, this is for Vincent's phonics work. The other thing that we do together, same level, would be the grammar, and these are by the Muffet Girls, and it is the language arts and grammar bundle that I got for them at the beginning of the school year, or I think it was in the summer. They were having a big sale, so I got it for pretty inexpensive, and it tackles, I want to say it's about 22 different books, and every book covers a different subject when it comes to grammar. So the first one we're doing is types of sentences, and I decided to buy the first grade level instead of the second grade level because when I was looking at the pages, it's super simple for Vincent, but I didn't want it to be too difficult for Adrian. And this tends to be a little bit more hands-on, where a lot of the pages are more coloring and using the dauber. So it's pretty simple for Adrian, and he's really comprehending, and I'm really enjoying that. Every booklet, I want to say there's about 20 pages for every grammar topic, which I like, because it's not just, I'm going to introduce you periods and exclamation marks for like a day or two, and then that's it. It's actually 20 days of types of sentences, which I'm really enjoying. So this is what we're doing together when it comes to grammar. So this is our grammar for this year. And then let me go into writing, because writing is actually one of the first things that we do every morning. And writing, we do it together as well, but they do have, this is one of the things that we do to their grade level. So Vincent has his Printing Power second grade Writing Without Tears, and Adrian has his kindergarten Letters and Numbers for Me Writing Without Tears. So now I'm going to go into some of the things that we do together as well, but they're actually to their grade level. So for Vincent, what I have for him is I have the little mini chalkboard. He doesn't use this one as much as he uses the large one. So this is the one that is for Writing Without Tears for second grade, the one that's recommended for second grade, because you do focus more on the double line, and I don't know how it'll focus, but it does focus more on the double line. So this is one of the things that's different for him. So that's that, and then I'll show you guys the draw and write. So for Adrian, we do the small chalkboard, and that's pretty much all he uses. And then I have the build the letters, the little stick build the letter things. So he uses those as well with this curriculum. So that's the other thing that's that we do together, but they have their own little grade level, and then their draw and writes. And this is what we do every Friday. So instead of doing this on Fridays, we do this Monday through Thursday, and then we do this every Friday. And I just have them draw a picture of whatever they want, and then when it comes to the writing, I don't correct them, I don't help them, I tell them just there's no wrong answer for this. You just sound out your sentence however you think you're supposed to spell it, because I want them to be able to see the progress as we go through the school year when it comes to their spelling. And again, this is just something that we do every Friday, and they really do enjoy it. So yeah, so this is what we do. And I just have a sheet of paper in here because sometimes they want to use markers and it transfers to the next page. So I just stuck a little piece of paper in there so it doesn't mess up the other pages. So that's Vincent's, and then this is Adrian's. And again, I don't help them with the spelling, and I just sound it out for them. And they just try to write the sentence as best as they can by trying to sound out. So yeah, so this is their little drawing rights, and like I said, that's something we do every Friday. And then their spelling. Again, their spelling, they are doing their actual grade levels. So Adrian is doing the kindergarten words their way, and Vincent's is still working out of the level A. We're like on sort number 27 or 20, yeah, 27. So we still have a few weeks to go on this one, but I do already have level B. And because he does tend to finish a little bit sooner than Adrian, he does have his spelling and vocabulary that we're still working out of, and this is the Hutton Mifflin one, and he really does enjoy this. So we do work out of this one every day as well. And what I have Adrian do in the time that Vincent is still working on this, that's when I have him jump on the computer and I have him work from Easy Peasy Learn to Read. And he's doing the Learn to Read level. So he's working out of this book, and I'm trying to have him stick to one lesson a week. So right now he just completed lesson 1, and he was able to read this by Friday. By Thursday he was already reading the story. So next week we're gonna go ahead and start lesson 2. So I have him sit on the computer, I have him go through the words. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It almost shows you almost like a flashcard. They sequence the words, kind of like a flashcard. And then I have on my phone, I also have the app that goes with this, and I have him play a few games from there just until Vincent's done with that. So that's how I squeeze that in just to kill some time. And then this is what I'm working with Vincent. I haven't started Adrian on this yet. I'm having him work out of the Easy Peasy for a little bit. I don't feel like he's ready for it yet. I think I'm going to give him a few more weeks. I'm going to try to assess him by Christmas time and see how he's doing. And maybe I'll start the All About Reading level 1 with Adrian at that point. But I feel like he's not ready for it yet. So I don't feel like I want to start that with him. But this is what I do with Vincent. And this is something that we do alone, and we do it pretty much after school, like after lunch. I'll come back up with him and work from this, just me and him. And then for math. And for math, again, we do it together. Adrian does get to do his a little sooner because the lessons are a little bit longer for Vincent. But Adrian's working out of the Singapore Math, the Essentials, Kindergarten Level A. and Vincent is primary mathematics level A. So those are the other things that they're doing separately, together but separately. So that's pretty much our workload, and like I said, most of the other stuff is just social studies, geography, science, and Spanish, and all that we're doing together. So yeah, so that is it, guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions about anything, and I'm gonna try to maybe do a separate video as to how I do our geography, how we're doing our geography, and how we're doing our Spanish, but that might be just two totally different videos. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.